At the heart of The Secret of Me is Jim Ambrose, who was raised as Christy. As he begins to share his story, he clarifies that he is not transgender but intersex. This crucial distinction shaped his life in ways he only discovered at 19 when he learned the truth about his biological identity. Born with male chromosomes and ambiguous genitalia, he underwent surgery as an infant and was brought up as a girl without knowledge of his true medical history. Grace Hughes Hallett, in her directorial debut, presents a compelling and deeply personal documentary that extends beyond Jim's individual experience to shed light on the broader issue of medical intervention in intersex children. The film's relevance is heightened in today's climate, where discussions around gender identity are increasingly politicized. As a producer of Three Identical Strangers, Hughes Hallett brings a sharp, investigative approach to The Secret of Me, drawing parallels between Jim's experience and the consequences of past social experiments. Like the subjects of Three Identical Strangers, Jim always felt a deep sense of unease about his identity. While in college in 1995, he came across a psychology textbook discussing John Money, a once-respected researcher at Johns Hopkins. Money's most infamous case involved advising the parents of a twin boy who suffered a botched circumcision to raise him as a girl. This child, David Reimer, lived as Brenda until discovering the truth, struggling with his identity until his tragic death by suicide in 2004. The film seamlessly weaves together Jim's personal account with archival footage and interviews that expose the troubling legacy of Money's work. Jim serves as an ideal guide through this narrative. His calm yet unwavering presence makes his testimony all the more powerful. After reading about Money's study, he obtained his medical records and uncovered the truth about his condition. He learned that he was born with a penis deemed too small by medical standards, leading to a recommendation for surgical removal. His parents, following medical advice, consented to the procedure and were told never to disclose the truth. Jim often describes this intervention as a violation, compounded by the secrecy surrounding it. Archival footage features his parents explaining that they acted based on the best medical advice available to them. While they acknowledge his anger, Jim expresses his devastation in a stark reflection. "You cut my genitals out. What did you think was going to happen?" The physical and emotional toll of these decisions was immense. Undergoing a double mastectomy and the removal of a surgically constructed vagina as a young adult became the final steps toward reclaiming his sense of self. The medical approach his parents followed was rooted in Money's theories, which asserted that gender identity was determined by upbringing rather than biology. He promoted the idea that raising David as Brenda would ensure acceptance of the assigned gender. Critical to this approach was withholding the truth from the children involved. His influence led to thousands of similar cases worldwide, perpetuated by his misleading claims that Brenda's case was a success. Archival footage of an adult David Reimer captures his outrage at these deceptions. His words resonate powerfully as he denounces the narrative that his life had been proof of Money's theories. "People thought that my case was a success story. There was nothing further from the truth," he states. The documentary incorporates interviews with experts who lend additional weight to the narrative. Among them is Tiger DeVore, an intersex activist and psychologist who once interned under Money, and journalist John Colapinto, who played a key role in exposing Money's fabrications through a groundbreaking Rolling Stone article in 1997. Their insights contextualize Jim's story within a larger history of medical ethics violations. One minor flaw in the film lies in its musical choices. The soundtrack feels out of place at times, with delicate piano melodies at the beginning and suspenseful notes during Colapinto's investigation of old case files. However, a more significant issue arises in the framing of Jim's attempt to confront Dr. Richard Carter, the surgeon who performed his operation. The climactic scene, in which Jim and Carter meet at a coffee shop, feels overly orchestrated for the cameras. Carter offers an apology, and Jim appears content with the exchange, yet the moment lacks the depth expected from such a pivotal confrontation. Instead of delivering a powerful resolution, the scene comes across as staged, undermining the sincerity that defines the rest of the documentary. Despite these minor shortcomings, The Secret of Me remains a vital and eye-opening exploration of the treatment of intersex individuals. Jim's courage in sharing his story illuminates the long-term impact of medical decisions made without consent and the importance of transparency in gender and medical ethics. This documentary challenges outdated medical beliefs and highlights the need for a more informed, ethical approach to intersex care. Its impact extends beyond Jim's personal journey, serving as a call for greater awareness and respect for bodily autonomy in the face of historical injustices.